cells divide too quickly, okay? So, so it won't take them 4 weeks to slough off, it'll take them 4 days. That's what its scale is. Okay, and that comes on with stress also, okay? Alright. So here's what it looks like. So you can tell, what's the difference between this area and this area, right? The color. So this is all epithelial tissue, this is all connective tissue. So right here, single layer cells, stratum basale, 8 to 10 rows of stratum spinosum. Now look at this, really grainy here, right? That's the stratum granulosum. Right here, stratum lucidum. And then you got 30 to 40 layers of stratum corneum, depending on the wear and tear. Okay, so if you start rubbing, you got a bad shoe or whatever, you start rubbing it, you're gonna rub all through this area here, and you get a blister, right? Filled with fluid. Okay, then what happens eventually? You get a callus. That's just more, your body knows it's more wear and tear, it's gotta make it stronger. So it's gonna lay it out more stratum corneum. Okay, and these are all filled with keratin, okay, a waterproof protein. So again, stratum basale, single row of either cuboidal or columnar cells, and some of these are stem cells. Okay? Don't worry about it. You have the cytoskeleton within keratinocytes. These are called tonal filaments, okay? And these have the protein called keratin, okay? All right, so this is a waterproof protein. So, say if you stay in the water too long, okay, this will start to break down. That's why you get kind of creamy, okay? Anybody know the ship, the Indianapolis? Anybody know what that ship was? Okay, that's the ship that delivered the atom bomb, okay, in World War II, because they were bombed Japan. So the people on the boat didn't know what was on the boat. They just knew big boxes came on the boat, and Marines were guarding it. Nobody knew what was on it. The Marines didn't even know what they were guarding. That's how top secret it was. So the Indianapolis went and delivered a bomb and had to go back to Hawaii. And they said, get back as soon as you can, okay? Usually with submarines, the boat would do a zigzag pattern, okay? They got no reports of any subs in the area, so the captain of the Indianapolis just said, just go straight. So it was going straight, torpedo could hit that. Well, the Japanese sub bomb hit the Indianapolis. So they figured about 900 guys, sailors, wound up in the water, okay? They were gone a week before they even knew that the ship was missing, because it was so top secret. So they said, who delivered the bomb? The Indianapolis. So the boat never came back. Then I got to go for the boat, okay? So they finally went in, they found the guys, and they were in the water for 2 weeks. So no water, just seawater. About 200 came out. The sharks got the rest. So when they grabbed the guys that were in the water for so long, when they grabbed them to pull them off the boat, the skin slid right off. Okay, it's called epidemomyolysis. What happens is that the skin was water out. So what they did was they took the hammocks that they slept in, and put the hammocks in the water and pulled them up down. Eventually they dried out. So if you didn't get killed from the explosion, they were in the water, the sharks got them. Okay, so you ever seen the movie Jaws? Right? They're in a boat. The captain of the boat hates sharks. In the movie, he was on the Indianapolis. He was on the Indianapolis and he survived. There's a scene where they're showing each other their scars, and they go, "What's that on your arm? That scar?" He goes, "I had a tattoo removed." It was the Indianapolis. He had a tattoo removed. Yeah. So that was his character, and that's why he went out hunting sharks. He hated sharks. That's why. So that's a true story. The captain of that ship, because it was so hot and humid, you have doors that cut off different departments. So if something happened to the ship, okay, you have these metal doors that hold up the department so it doesn't sink. But because it was so hot, he just ordered, he goes, okay, open up all the doors so we get some air ventilating in there. When it took out the front of the ship was moving, and it was basically like a big funnel catching all the water. It gets blown in front of the ship. So if the doors were shut, it probably wouldn't sink. Okay, so a lot of mistakes happen with that. All right, the stratum spinosum. Okay, I just got a history lesson again. Okay, keratinocytes, right? 8 to 10 layers. This gives us some strength and flexibility. Okay. Right. The stratum granulosum. We're going to make this keratin, so 3 to 5 layers. Okay, this is lipid-rich water repellent. Okay? And then we're gonna go Lucin. So, this is just in the palms of the hands and soles of the feet. So we have an extra layer of dead cells just to protect us. Because we're always touching hot and cold stuff or walking around all day. Okay? And the very, very top part, 25 to 30 layers of dead cells. Okay, it's called the cornea. Right, you've got more layers of cornea. Okay, it's called the callus. Called the callus. I was in Hawaii once, right? Years and years ago. I was in high school. So my brother and my parents are renting a car. So my brother and I are waiting by the car place, and you can't pull the coconuts off the tree. You damage the tree, and the tree could die. So you gotta kind of like cut them off. So this little kid comes up to us. They have barbed wire around a tree, so nobody climbs it. Little kid goes, I get you coconut? I'm like, sure. He goes, you give me money. So I go, how much for a coconut? I forget how much it was. I think he said maybe like $5 a coconut. So the kid runs up the tree, right, puts a knife in his mouth, he runs right up the tree with no shoes on, right up the barbed wire, because he never had shoes, he didn't need them. He runs up the tree, he's cutting coconuts, he's throwing them down at us. Right, I'm like, dude, enough, it's like 5, 10, 50, right? So all these guys from, they're doing construction, come running over at us, because you're at the tree. So we're not in Hawaii, an hour, and my brother and I are like running from people, we got in trouble. So the car police said, no, they just moved in, they don't know, but he goes, you can't break the trees. I go, I didn't do it, the kid did it, the kid took off. Yeah, the kid took off, we went like a squirrel right up the tree. Yeah, no shoes on, right up the barbed wire, so funny. Right, so epidermal growth factor, again, this is a hormone, okay, and this here is gonna regulate epidermal repair, okay? All right, so now we're in a dermis layer. Okay, dermis layer, right, the superficial portion is called the papillary region, and we're gonna have more elastic fibers here, okay, because they're gonna stretch, okay? The dermal papilla is located here, and this is where we're gonna have some nerves, okay? And our tactile receptors, that just means sense of touch, these are called Meissner's corpuscles, or tactile sensors, okay? And then you got thousands of these throughout your skin, okay? And the corpuscles, of course, they're laminated, they got like little caps on. Okay, where free nerve endings don't. Okay, the deeper portion of the dermis is called the reticular region. This is more dense, irregular connective tissue. Okay, it just doesn't tear, and you can pull it in multiple directions. Okay, but in the dermis, we're going to have our hair follicles, right? Our nerves, oil glands, sweat glands, and also some adipose tissue. Okay, so skin's got all the different tissues. That's why we call it an organ. Okay, right. The lower region of skin is the hypodermis or subcutaneous layer. Okay, these guys have Pacinian corpuscles. So for pressure, think P for Pacinian, P for pressure. Okay, so someone squeezes you, they got to get down to that level. Okay, and you can feel its pressure, and sometimes it hurts because they're also doing the free nerve endings. If their hands are cold, if their hands are hot, you can feel that too. They have thermoreceptors. So you have Krauss receptors for cold, you have Ruffini for heat. Okay? Next semester we test all this. Right, so skin color is important too. We have 3 pigments, right? Melanin comes from our melanocytes. Okay, the cells that produce melanin. Okay? You're gonna find these in our mucous membranes, right? The nipples, face, and also the lips. Okay? Hemoglobin is located around red blood cells. So people that have very, very fair skin, okay, you can see they get flushed very, very easy. That's because of the hemoglobin. And carotene, not keratin with a K. Carotene is a yellow-orange pigment. It's a yellow-orange pigment. Okay, it's in the stratum corneum and the fatty areas of the dermis. Okay, so like when you do dissection and stuff, like fats are very, very yellow. Okay, a callus is very, very yellow. That's because of the yellow-orange pigment. Okay, so you see beta carotene, right? This is right. Green leafy vegetables are like carrots, stuff like that. Okay. My son, when he was a baby, the only thing he would eat was the baby food: sweet potatoes, carrots, and squash. His nose turned orange. My mother goes, "The baby's jaundiced." I'm like, "The baby's not jaundiced. All he eats is friggin' carrots." Okay, it turns skin color. Okay. So accessory structures, right, gonna be hair, okay, the glands in the skin, and our nails, okay? All right, So the hair, you got the shaft, there's no nerves there, right, we could cut that. But if someone tugs on it, right, you're tugging on these nerve endings, okay, that's why it hurts. What surrounds it, the root, is gonna be the follicle, okay? It's kind of our blood supply, okay, it's gonna have our nerve supply, and our sebaceous glands, our oil glands. So the oil glands keep the scalp nice and lubricated and moist, and same with the hair, okay? It's kind of what it looks like, and it's just dead epithelial cells. So you have a growth phase and a resting phase of hair growth, okay? So what it does is just keeps packing on as that hair grows. It's just dead cells, okay? Depending on what color your hair is, that's how much melanocytes you have. So more melanin, the darker your hair is. Less melanin, the lighter your hair is. When you get older, you stop making melanin, okay? And those cells just die. That's where gray hair comes from, okay? That's where gray hair comes from, okay? Okay, and you got blood supply. So people like male pattern baldness, okay, they lose that blood supply to the hair. Stops growing. Okay, stops growing. Okay. All right, now we got the nail. Okay, nail is just hardened epithelial tissue. Okay, and you can cut that. To the free edge you cut, and you got the body, and you got the lumula here. The cuticle is called the epiconychium. Okay, now you get epiconychiumitis if that gets inflamed. Very, very painful, okay? Usually happens 30 manicure set, okay? Someone has it and you can get it. So I would, unless you know the place and the place is reputable, okay, I would bring your own manicure set and let them use yours, okay? So, there's some places, they might not sterilize the stuff, okay? So I told my wife and daughter, my daughter's there constantly. She wonders why she has no money. We walked in and she goes, was it Coco's living room? She goes in, right, she walks in, I go, hey Juliana, they know it by first name, hey Juliana. Yeah. So my wife wants, so what do I get my wife? So I get her gifts, I get her mani pedi, they call it. So I walk in, usually my daughter, I go get mommy a mani pedi shit, right? So she can't make it, right? So I gotta go. So I have no clue, right? I used to go, listen, I want to get my wife, a gift card. Okay, what do you want? I'm like, I don't know, get the nails and the feet done, right? And she goes, oh, what kind? I'm like, what kind? You cut it and you put the paint on it. Then you get wraps, you get this, you get glaze. I'm like, oh, holy shit. I'm like, hold on. I go, Juliana, I go, oh, Juliana. Juliana Betts, yeah. Oh, no, we hook you up. Yeah, and so they just gave me, first, that shit's expensive. I forgot how much it cost me, but it was for the nails, the fingernails, the toenails, and I put some shit glaze on it. It's supposed to make the nails last longer, right? But he didn't, I just give you what Juliana gets. I'm like, okay. It's like $80, $60. What? Yeah. I do my own nails. Now it's something. Oh shit. Oh, money. Man. My daughter has no money. Amazon comes almost every friggin' day to the house. Every day. It's something. I'm like, why you spend it? It's okay. Okay, it's okay when you need money. Alright, sebaceous glands are oil glands, that's important. Okay. Sudoriferous glands are sweat glands. We have two types, eccrine and apocrine. Okay. Eccrine are all over our body. We have more palms of the hands, soles of the feet. Okay. Apocrine glands get activated during puberty. So that's in the axillary region under your arms, okay, and the groin area. Ceruminous glands are secrete cerumen. That's earwax, right? Protect your ears. Okay. And mammary glands are actually modified sweat glands. Okay, and they're going to produce milk under the influence of prolactin, and we inject milk and the influence of oxytocin. Okay. So sebaceous glands are oil glands, so it's a mixture of fat, proteins, and salts. Okay? We're going to see this on our hair follicles, right around the lips, glans, penis. That's the anterior portion of the male penis. Labia minora, that's going to be the superior portion of the female vagina, and around the eyelids too, around the eyelids. Sometimes these glands get clogged, and that's what acne is. Okay, that just depends on the person. Okay. Sudoriferous glands, there are 3 to 4 million of these. These are sweat glands, okay? And when you're hot, it's hot and humid, right, that secretes on the skin, it evaporates, and it cools your body down. It cools your body down. Okay, again, ecrin, okay, more numerous on the palms of the hands, soles of the feet, and apocrine comes during puberty, and they kick in, okay? So, I gotta make a joke. What's your name?
Me?
Yeah.
Brian?
I just grabbed you, Brian. Okay, so Brian goes, how old are you?
18.
I can't go to a bar. Okay, so, so anyway, Brian goes to like a dance club and all, right? And the lovely person comes over to him and introduces himself, right? And he shakes the young lady's hand. She goes, "Oh, your palms are all sweaty." He said, "These are my eccrine glands secreting for you." Good pickup line, right? No? All right. Try it. Comes back the next day, 5 stars, right? Okay, service glands are earwax, okay? If you get like soap in your ear or when you're showering and stuff, you'll make more earwax, okay? Just trying to flush it out, okay? Mammary glands, specialized sweat glands, that are gonna produce and secrete, okay? All right, so now I'm gonna do some wound healing, almost done. We got some wound healing. Right. So right here, right, you're damaging the epidermis. Okay, so you're not gonna bleed, but once you go into the dermis portion, now you're gonna bleed, okay? So you gotta clot that blood, okay, and epidermal growth factor's gonna kick in. So first you're gonna have the inflammatory phase. So remember, I always said if there's any trauma or injury, allergic reaction, or infection, you're going to inflame, okay? So if the area's gonna inflame, okay, you gotta get blood into the area, start fighting any infection, killing bacteria, okay? And start laying down new cells. So when your cells divide, you're gonna get the migratory phase. So you're gonna try to clot that wound, okay? And the proliferation phase is just the cell division phase, okay? And then the maturation phase is when the scab sloughs off. Something ringing? Someone's phone's going off. Huh? Is this one?
No, it's my phone.
City more, if you stab him, we slap him. Oh, your phone?
I forgot to turn it off.
Oh, is it important?
No,
You sure?
scam.
Oh, it's all got you, okay, you don't have to, this stuff where you sit like this, like, it's not me. Okay, so, right here, right, so, you cut the skin, and it goes into the dermis, so it's gonna bleed. So bleeding's not necessarily a bad thing, what's it do? It's gonna clean out the wound, okay, now, if you hit a major artery or blood vessel, then that's a big deal, okay? But yeah, when it bleeds out a little bit, you're flushing that wound out. The first thing you gotta do is, that migratory phase, right, we have to get cells in this area. So it's epithelial tissue, it's gonna divide very, very rapidly. We're gonna inflame because these blood vessels, we're gonna get a history reaction, so we're gonna get white blood cells in the area to fight the infection, clean up any cellular debris, anything that got damaged, and we have to lay down new fibers now. We gotta lay down new fibers. Okay? So what happens here is, right, you got the proliferation phase, right, cell division phase, and look at this, it comes right over, and we get new cells in here. This is a scab, that just sloughs off then. And this here is all scar tissue, so we're gonna fill this in with those new fibers. So this is where we suture stuff. So instead of having all the scar tissue here, you pull the edges together and you stitch it, and it doesn't look as bad. Okay, it doesn't look as bad. Okay? All right, so we always do some skin cancer and stuff. So there's 3 types of skin cancer, okay? Basal cell carcinoma. Basal cell is very, very superficial, okay? It's the most common, all right? And it's not real deep, okay? And very rarely metastasizes or spreads, okay? 2 ways cancer spreads, through lymph and blood. Squamous cell carcinoma is a little bit deeper. Again, really doesn't metastasize all that readily. If you let it go, it could, okay? The second most common, all right? And then malignant melanoma is the least common, but it is the one that's very important because it tends to be deep. Okay, it does tend to be deep. Okay, so if you have any moles and stuff, we're checking it, okay, you do the ABCs. okay? So you're gonna check it for asymmetry, okay? If it's nice and round, the borders are good, it's probably not, okay? Then you're checking the borders. You don't want it to look like it's bleeding into the skin. Look at the color, it could be black, it could be brown, it could be blue, it could be white, it could be red, okay? And look at the diameter. Anything that's like larger than a pencil eraser, just go get it checked, okay? So don't be alarmed, don't be scared. If it is, then just take it out, okay? So what they usually do, they do what they call a mole surgery. Okay, so, all right, this isn't the scalp, so don't freak out. Okay, so the thing is, if you have it, right, it looks like it's bleeding in on the top here. Okay, it doesn't have to be raised, sometimes it is. So what they'll do is they'll take a piece out, okay? And they check the borders. If it looks like there's cancer cells, they'll take more out. If they cancer, they'll take more. They keep doing it until they don't find any cancer cells, okay? Cancer cells. So I was, I had a patient of mine, they're gone now, they were older when I was young. But the two people, they're from Italian descent, they're very, very fair. So blonde hair, blue eyes, and he worked construction his whole life, so his shirt comes off in the summer. And when they retired, they just loved to be outside, always walking outside, all day long by the pool in their complex. So he was coming into a clinic I was working at, and we scanned the back, and I see a thing on his left shoulder, and it looked like a bird pooped on him, like that. That's kind of what it looked like. It was spread like that, all different colors. So I said, listen, I want you to get this thing checked. He goes, yeah, I've had it for a while. I said, well, I kind of want to check. So I got the thing checked, and so I opened up my own place. So people found me, they liked the care, so they said, we want to have you treat us. I said, okay. So he walks in, one of the first words I say, I'm like, you ever get that thing on your shoulder checked? He goes, you're a pain in the ass with that. He goes, he pulls up his shirt, he goes, I'm getting these checked. I go, those are keratosis. Those are sun keratosis. Those are totally fine. You get those when you're older. They tend to itch real bad. I said, but I want the doctor to check this, right? As soon as the shirt came off, they go, that's gotta come out. So it was malignant melanoma. Now I got pretty big hands. The amount of they took out, I could fit half my fist in. So it went down to the muscle. But he was fine. They checked his lymph, and he was fine. Wife came in, she thanked me up and down. I go, how long have you had that? She had basal cell. So they took about a dime thing off. I had squamous cell twice. Whoops, what the hell did I just do there? I had squamous cell twice. Okay, or construction, fair skin. If you if you get two blistering sunburns, they say you just increase your chances of getting some sort of skin cancer. Okay, so just wear the sunblock and all. If you see something, just go get a check from the dermatologist. So I worked in a massage school, and I did pathology. So they said, who looks at their back? Who looks at the back of the legs with heel folds? Massage therapists would see it. And I would say, listen, if you see something, ask the person, how long have you had that? If they say, had what? Go get checked. Okay? And you don't have to be fair skin. Anybody can get skin cancer. It's more prominent because they don't have that much protection. Okay? So, again, don't get scared, just get the thing checked. My daughter had this little thing that looked like a heart on her arm. And I like the way it looked. And she's always in a tank top, she's always in the effing sun, and she went out for summer cup. Very rare. So we went to the dermatologist, and he goes, what's going on? I said, I don't like the thing on her arm. So how come you don't like the thing on the arm, Ben? And he goes and he looks at it, he says, good call, but it's okay. He goes, so a couple years later, I changed. I said, go get it. They took it out and she was fine. Took it out and she was fine.
Can they fall off?
Huh?
Can some of them fall off?
What?
A mole?
Yeah, it could. It's rare. It's rare. It probably wasn't a mole. It's probably a skin tag. Yeah, it's probably a skin tag. And so this is just a normal nevis. Okay. See how like the borders are nice and all. This is raised. Okay, but the borders are nice. Doesn't look like it's bleeding in. Okay. Sometimes they'll check something. It'll be a dysplastic nevis, meaning that the cells are changing. Doesn't mean a cancer. So they want to take that off. Okay. This here is the melanoma. So you see how it's bleeding in? How it's bleeding into the skin, and it's all different colors and all. But this here, you want to take that off, okay? And it's got satellites to the here, okay? All right. So again, just get it checked. This is burns now, so we go to different degrees of burns. Okay. A first degree burn as you just burn epidermis, okay? This is a sunburn, okay? You see this lady here, got a lot of sun damage here. I got a little thing there, I got a little thing there, so I get those shit, okay? All right, so this is just a top layer skin, very uncomfortable, right? It's gonna hurt a little bit. Okay, second degree burn, you're going into the dermis here, okay? This is called the skin syndrome, this is a little baby, little kid, right? Probably grab a hot cup of coffee or tea, okay? The caregiver here is spreading the hands out because they gotta scrape this all off, okay? So you don't get an infection, okay? All right? Third degree burn is when you go through the subcutaneous layer, okay? This is like a char. This person here grabbed a hot wire, looks like they got electrocuted, okay? But this actually doesn't hurt because you char all the free nerve endings. So when they start coming back, that's when it hurts. That's when it hurts, okay? There is a fourth degree burn. This is when you burn right to the bone. You go through the muscle to the bone. You're probably gonna lose the fingers, okay, nose, ears, lips, you'll lose all those. Okay, we don't show you that now, but you will get that. Okay, that's usually if somebody's caught in fire or an explosion. Okay, it's called a fourth degree burn. Okay, how we determine burns, okay, it's called the rule of nines, okay? So that's how we determine the degree. So for example, anterior head and neck would be 4.5% of the body. The whole head and neck, front and back would be 9, okay? The upper arms, the whole front, 4.5, front and back, 9. The trunk, 18, the thighs are 9, so front and back would be 18, and the legs are, the front would be, so 9 for the thigh, 9 for the leg, okay? Front and back would be 36, okay? So a lot of times when something flashes, okay, the person automatically does this. So they'll burn their face, the trunk, and the back of the arms. So right there, that's almost 50% of the body right there. Okay, then you're one big open wound. It could be, you know, you can get an infection. Okay? All right, so this here is a cubitus ulcer, or a pressure ulcer, or a bed sore. Okay, this is a heel. Here's the heel. These are unacceptable. Okay, all right, this is the person can't move. So if a person's got maybe cancer and they're real weak, or they're very obese, or they're just real old, and they're sitting in the bed, okay? Any place they're pressured, the sacrum, okay, your shoulder blades, right, your elbows, and your heels. So you just make it pressure and you don't get proper blood supply. So you get this ulcer in here, okay? How do you stitch this? You can't. And if the person's, usually if they're bedridden, they're wearing a diaper, okay, and they don't move the patient around, they don't massage them, okay, they can get an ulcer like right on the back by the sacrum. They urinate and defecate, that's gonna get infected. And this one here is infected. So the pus around here, and look how swollen this is, all in here. So if you have someone like in a nursing home or a hospital or something, and they get a pressure ulcer, they call the state. It's not supposed to happen. Then you say, well, we're short-handed. Well, that's not my problem. That's your problem. Okay, you're getting money. Okay, so but these are unacceptable. All right, so they pack it, and they hope for the best. That's it for that chapter. Right? All right, we're good. What time is that? Oh, what's that next one? All right, so we're ahead, which is good. All right, so we're gonna go right into skeletal tissue. Okay, so now we're gonna be into bone. Okay. All right. So this is chapter 6. Hey, you do not have the notes for this? Let's see if this will work down here. Hey, look, I don't have that many emails. Nice. Right? The other day I was like looking at emails like 2 hours. Okay, so I'm gonna send you over the next, chapter 6 through 10, okay? I need to figure this out. What I always do is I email myself, and we got it. Yes, Melanie come in? She's gonna email, she's gonna be late. You we good? Did you get them?
No.
Not yet? And listen, everything's up on Canvas too. All right, so if we need it. Okay. Right, this is, bone tissue, okay? Okay, so, osteology, study of bones, pretty easy, right? When I was in chiropractic school, we did this every day for 10 minutes. You're gonna get it 20 minutes. Okay, so, note of functions, right, so support, right? The reason why we're not like one big blob of muscle is because we got a framework, we got a skeleton, okay? Okay, we're gonna have a skull. Skull protects the brain, right? Vertebral column protects the spinal cord, and our ribs and sternum, right, protect our internal organs, okay? It's gonna help us move, so we're gonna see that bones come together to make joints, muscles contract to move those joints. Middle homeostasis, right, we're going to store calcium, okay, in our bones, and phosphorus. Okay, and the ends of long bones and flat bones, okay, we're gonna make our blood cells, okay? That's the red bone marrow, okay? It's a process called hemopoiesis, okay? You have a hormone in your kidneys that gets released, it's called erythropoietin, okay? You're gonna make our red blood cells, okay? In the shaft of, long bones, we have, yellow bone marrow. Okay, it's gonna be mostly fat, okay? Okay, so, this is a typical bone, it's an arm bone or a humerus. Again, this is important, so the ends of the bones are called the epiphysis. We have a proximal epiphysis closest to the shoulder joint, and we have a distal epiphysis close to the elbow joint, okay? So even if it's in like your forearm, like your radius, you have a proximal epiphysis and a distal epiphysis. Okay? The shaft is called the diaphysis. The shaft is a diaphysis, okay? And what connects the two is a metaphysis, okay? So in immature bone, okay, this is gonna be called the epiphyseal plate or growth plate. You get bone growth and length, okay? You get bone growth and length. Okay, once you hit, teenage years, you stop growing. Okay, the epiphyseal plate gets filled in, turns the bone, and we call it an epiphyseal line. And you can see that on an X-ray. Okay, what surrounds the whole bone, okay, is called the periosteum. Okay, it's just a membrane. And the outer portion is called the fibrous periosteum. Okay, so all the ligaments and tendons attach to the periosteum. The inner portion is the osteogenic layer. We're gonna lay down bone. So you get bone growth in diameter, okay, in this periosteum. Okay, so inside the bone, right, it's hollow, okay, and it's filled with yellow bone marrow, okay? Okay, but you have a medullary cavity in here. And what lines that medullary cavity is called an endosteum. You have osteogenic cells there too. Okay, so bone growth in length stops after puberty, okay? Okay, bone growth in diameter happens your whole life, okay? So if you're doing a weight workout, the bones will get thicker. You stop doing a weight workout, they'll get thinner because you don't need as strong, okay? Right? And here, the bluish portion, that's called articular cartilage. It's a type of hyaline cartilage, okay? All right, so this is a femur or a thigh bone. This is an X-ray, so right here, you got spongy bone, you got that trabeculate pattern. This here is the compact bone. This is really, really hard, okay? Got a proximal epiphysis, down here would be a distal epiphysis, and right here, okay, you see, this is gonna be the growth plate right there. You got a little in there also, okay? The shaft, again, is the diaphysis, and the metaphysis attaches the epiphysis to the diaphysis, and that's what the growth plate's gonna be, okay? All right, so again, diaphysis is the shaft, the epiphysis is the ends, the metaphysis is where the epiphysis and diaphysis meet, okay? Ingrowing bone, or immature bone, okay? We call it the growth plate or epiphyseal plate, okay? Immature bone, we just call it the epiphyseal line, okay? So when, like a little kid, breaks a bone, it's through the growth plate, and there is a concern, because they wanna make sure the bone grows properly, okay? If it's in the arm, not a big deal, one arm might be shorter than the other, so you gotta get your suits altered differently. Okay, if it's a leg, it'll walk with limp, okay? You get articular cartilage at the end of the bones, the type of hyaline cartilage. What surrounds the bone is called the periosteum. So the outer layer is gonna be the fibrous periosteum, the inner layer is the osteogenic. So genesis means to make, you're gonna make bone here. Okay, medullary cavity is gonna be filled, okay, with yellow bone marrow and blood supply. Okay, the lining is called the endosteum, so you have osteogenic cells there also. Okay, these are the stem cells. Right, so bone and cartilage you're gonna see is kind of made up of the same material. Okay, it's connective tissue. Okay, so bone or osseous tissue, the matrix is 25% water, 25% proteins, and 50% mineral salts. Okay, this is called hydroxyapatite. So why bone is hard is because of the calcium. So we have calcium phosphate, calcium carbonate, we have magnesium oxide, hydroxide, and fluoride, calcium sulfate. So it's really the calcium that makes the bone hard, okay? All right, so know the cells, these are important. So osteogenic cells, or the stem cells, they develop into osteoblasts, osteocytes. Okay, osteoblasts lay down bone. Okay, osteoblasts lay down bone, okay? They squirt out that matrix, okay? Osteocytes maintain the daily activity of bone, okay? They tell all the other cells what to do. And osteoclasts, they break down bone. They break down and reabsorb the calcium, okay? So you need calcium to make muscles contract and to make nerves fire. Okay, you need it for an electrical impulse, okay, and muscle contraction. So where do you get that? It's gotta be in the blood. You can get it from bone. You're gonna store it in the bones. So the osteoclasts break down the bone. Now we're constantly remodeling our bones. If I took x-rays of everybody today, okay, in like 2 years, it's gonna look a little different, okay? Good. So this is the eversion system here, or the osteon is a structural unit of the bone. So right here is the osteon, okay? So what happens here is we grow, right? What's gonna grow outward is gonna be our blood supply. So we're gonna have our arterioles, okay, or venules, these are small arteries and veins, and our lymphatic vessels, okay? So the blood supply is there, and we start building bone around it. And we go around it, and we go around it. So we make an osteon like that, right? And then it grows out, and we do another one. And it grows out, we do another one. Okay, so if you look at here, this is the medullary cavity. This here is the spongy bone. This is the compact bone. Okay, and as we're laying down new bone, we're breaking down the old bone. This here is the periosteum right here. So you see these little cracks here? They're really not cracks. Okay, they're little canals called the canal of Cooley. So if I blew this up here, right, these little canals, this is my osteocyte here. It's in a fluid-filled little lake. Okay, it's called the lacuna. So from the blood supply, I get oxygen and nutrients to these cells. It goes through the little canal and dumps into the little lake. Okay, so that's where the water comes in the bone. Okay, so compact bone is very, very strong. And we got these Volkmann canals, right? These are these little canals here, we call them canal of Cooley, okay? And it's called the eversion system, okay? All right, it's just a series of little lakes here, okay? And spongy bone, again, it's a trabeculate pattern. This is where the red bone marrow is. So it's gonna be in long bones at the ends, in the epiphysis there, okay? So right here, if I take some spongy bone, okay? See my green little guy here? This is an osteoclast. They're breaking down the bone. They're breaking down the bone. But as we're doing that, our osteoblasts are laying down new bone. And they lay down a new bone right around the osteocyte, right around the osteocyte there, okay? Okay, so bone is very, very vascular, okay, and it does have a, nerve supply too, okay? So it's gonna go in through the periosteum there. Anybody here ever break a bone? Anybody break anything? Okay, when you broke it, what did it look like? What color was it?
They kind of look a little similar, but like a little more reddish.
Okay, more red.
Yeah.
A lot of times they'll turn black, that's the blood, and the reddish is the
Yeah.
bleeding. So when you break the bone, you're breaking the blood vessels too, okay? So that happens to be a shin bone or a tibia. Well, right here, right, you got the articular cartilage, this is hyaline cartilage. This is my epiphysis. This here is all the diaphysis, that's the metaphysis. So this bone stopped growing, and you got the epiphyseal plate here. So going in, right, bone is very, very vascular, okay? So if you break a bone, okay, 6 to 8 weeks, it's basically better than you, okay? If you tear a ligament or tendon, it could take 9 months to a year to heal, just because of the lack of the blood supply there, okay? All right, so when you form bone, there's 2 ways we're gonna form bone, but bone's bone, we're just gonna make it a little different. We have intramembranous ossification, these are our flat bones, So you have a fibrous membrane, okay, and that fibrous membrane turns hard, okay? So you gotta develop an ossification center, okay, that's where the blood supply is, and then you're gonna lay down, you're gonna lay down, hard bone around that, okay? The hardened matrix, okay? And you're gonna develop the periosteum. Okay, so bone ossification begins the 6th or 7th week of fetal life. Okay, and you're gonna keep growing until you're an adult, until you stop growing. Okay, so 1 or 2 patterns. Okay, so this is that intramembranous ossification. It's like the fontanelles, okay, on the baby's head, the soft spots. Okay, so you have primary and secondary ossification centers. The primary ossification centers happen before you're born. Okay, and then we go through the birth canal, right? And you gotta squish. Okay, and those bones will overlap. Okay, when the baby's going through the canal. So anyone that like has natural childbirth, the babies come out, they got like a little cone head. Okay, that's because the bones shifted. Okay, a couple days it goes back. Baby sneezes, goes right back. No, I'm kidding. Okay, right. So here you got your blood supply, and you start dividing, right, from mesenchymal cells, like these are stem cells. You start to get these osteoblasts, and they start laying down bone, okay, around the osteocytes and all. Okay, so now look, you start laying down bone here, the osteocytes are here, then you start laying bone here, and you start laying bone there. Okay, this is compact bone, or this is spongy bone right here, but then it's gonna turn into compact bone. So you got your spongy bone here and the compact bone, okay? So we're gonna see the fontanelles, within 2 years, the baby skull is totally formed, okay? And what happens is the baby's brain grows the most the first year of life. So as the brain's grown, right, they spread out, they'll spread out, okay? Okay, so endochondral, we gotta let go. Endochondral ossification, right? Endochondral, cartilage phase. We're going through a cartilaginous phase here. This is for our long bones. So you're gonna get a cartilage model in the metaphysis, okay? And you're gonna start to divide that cartilage, okay? So you're gonna get primary ossification centers, okay? Then you're gonna be born with those growth plates, then you're gonna fill in those growth plates, okay? And you're gonna form your secondary ossification centers, okay? Let me show you this real quick. So, you're a fetus now, okay? These big cells, big, fat, happy cells. These are cartilage cells, okay? Then what happens is, you start to form osteoblasts that are gonna lay down calcified matrix around that cartilage. Cartilage turns them over. And then you start dividing and you start getting some blood supply, okay? So here you got some blood supply, here got those nice big cartilage cells, and then you're gonna make the epiphysis. So you got the shaft, the diaphysis, now you're gonna have the epiphysis. That's the epiphysis here and here. This here is the epiphyseal plate or growth plate. So what you're gonna do is, this is gonna divide. See, this is dividing here? So these cartilage cells divide, and they're gonna migrate to the diaphysis, okay? So you're gonna start building bone up on the diaphysis. It's happened on the bottom too, so to both ends. So the bone starts here, and you start growing on both ends of that bone, okay? And then until you stop growing, that fuses in. So that is predetermined genetically, okay, how tall you're gonna be, okay? So if your parents are both 5'2", you're not gonna be 6'6", okay, that's just the way it is, okay, unless they give you growth hormone, okay? All right, so right here, right, you got a blood vessel, and what happens, you start dividing, all right, around that blood vessel, okay? So you see it's starting to grow around it, it's going a little more, it's going even more. Then this will come out, you're gonna grow another, okay, and that happens throughout your life. Okay, so the epiphyseal plate, you got a zone of resting cartilage, right? You're not growing at this point in time. Then proliferation means you start to divide it, then it's gonna move to the diaphysis, then it gets hard, okay? Let me show you a picture here, okay? So this is resting cartilage, we're gonna start to divide the cartilage, and it's gonna migrate, okay, to the diaphysis, and it's gonna line up like this. Okay, it's gonna line up, and then it's gonna turn hard, it's gonna turn to bone, okay? All right, this here's a 3-year-old, so this is gonna be the femur or thigh bone, this is the tibia or shin bone. This is the fibula, this is the bone in the lateral portion of the leg. So right here, these aren't breaks, this is the growth plate, this is the growth plate. So see, so from here, okay, the distal epiphysis in the thigh, it's gonna divide and start to pack on the diaphysis here. You see, this is a little whiter, a little more radiopate, okay, right here. This is laying down new bone. On here, right, this is the proximal portion of the tibia. That's gonna start laying down bone right here. Okay, when the kid stops growing, those will fuse it. That will fuse it, okay? Then we'll do, let's stop here. We'll do bone remodeling, tomorrow. All right? We're gonna do it real quick. Yeah, let's see. Let's see, Isabella come in? Isabella, Emma, Bianca, Taylor,
Here.
Vincent,
Here.
Lauren,